I was getting picked on for things that I can't change about myself.
Yeah.
It's not about what I'm wearing or how I look. I got picked on for things that I can't change.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's just like, I could care less. And at the end of the day, it's like, it's my life. I'm living it. You're just a speck on this world. Like, I can't take life for granted. You got to live it to the fullest. At one point in time, going through those health challenges, my parents wanted to do what was best for me. And I did feel like a girl in a bubble. I couldn't go and do much. I stayed home. I at one point in time, I was on hospital homebound school, so I didn't go to school. I didn't see friends. Pretty much just saw my doctors, my mom. A common thing that like fans or like when I get noticed in public, people will be like, oh my God, are you famous? And I always just respond with, I'm just like a normal girl. Like, that's just how I think of myself. Is like, I just think I'm like an ordinary girl. Like, I have weird quirks about myself. And I just like, honestly, just continuously chase my dreams.
What's good, everybody? It's your guy, JoJo Simmons, and welcome back to the For Good podcast, where we focus on the good, never the bad, and we're measured by what we do, not what we have. Before we jump into it, I want to shout out the Instagram community. We have reached 15,000 followers on Instagram. Keep rocking with us. Thank you for rocking with us. And if you haven't rocked with us yet, make sure you hit that follow button on Instagram, For Good Podcast. Let's go. Today's guest is someone who knows what it's like to grow up with the world watching. McKenzi Brooke is a dancer, actor, and creator who built a massive following online by sharing her talent, her personality, and her story in a way that's real and relatable. But behind the numbers and the viral videos, McKenzi's journey is about something deeper. She's been performing since she was a kid, growing up in the spotlight while learning who she really is outside of it. Something I can definitely relate to. She's faced challenges, stayed grounded in her purpose, and found ways to use her platform to inspire and uplift others. From her early days dancing to stepping into acting, music, and storytelling, McKenzi continues to evolve, not just as a creator, but as a young woman, learning to lead with authenticity and heart. This conversation is about growth, balance, and what it means to stay true to yourself when everyone's watching. McKenzi, welcome to the For Good podcast. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Oh my God, can you introduce me every single time I go anywhere?
Of course. It's like a WWF, right? Like you have like an intro before you come out and I just read off everything you've done in your life.
No, it sounded so good. I was like, whoa.
Well, I mean, but all that means is you're hearing what you've been doing, and sometimes we don't take the moment to stop and say, oh, what have all I've done? And then somebody like me comes along that's done the research and the team done the research and say, okay, well, we're going to put all of that on this cue card so you can hear it. Because that's what the For Good podcast is about. It's about uplifting people and uplifting the guests that we have here. And I think it's safe to say that you may be the youngest guest I've had on here so far, which is cool. That's cool. I'm so happy to connect to Gen Z, I guess, at this point. Now, you know, how you like in New York? You like in New York? What brings you here to New York? What you got going on out here?
Well, I love New York because I love Times Square. I love like walking out at like 3, 4 in the morning and just experiencing all the lights. But originally why I came to New York is because I got brought out here with the United Nations.
Oh.
For WEDO, for women empowerment.
Okay.
And I'm super excited to be here for that. Like to be able to just connect with so many other like leaders, like especially like female leaders, and be able to talk to them and hear like everything they've gone through to get from point A to point B in their career. And just being able to hear and just honestly it's kind of like crazy because I'm the youngest, you know, with all the other panelists that's happening this week. And it's definitely crazy, like being 21 and being surrounded by all these amazing women in their field, for sure.
Yeah, that's dope. I love it. I didn't know. I mean, you special. You out here doing things that other people just ain't doing. That's what's up, man. So what led you here? Like what made them invite you? Is because you're always out, empowering women. What made you feel like they had to have you since you are the youngest? What do you feel like why they wanted you there?
Well, I do a lot of work with nonprofit organizations, especially like Supergirl Pro, which is a nonprofit for women. And then I work side by side with the Air Force, and I go to a lot of different like high schools and colleges, kind of just to talk about, being able to uplift kids. That's like something like not kids because I'm the same age as them, but to be able to uplift people who are younger than me.
Young adults.
Yes, young adults is the great word for it, and people
Like
my
Reef.
age. Be able to just talk to them and like realize that you can accomplish so much even when you're really young. And I think just being able to put myself into different, I don't want to call them opportunities because I don't think of them as that, because it's something that I really want to do. And no matter what, I love those experiences because I get to learn a lot from them too, and get to hear, what someone else has gone through. And like, so when it comes to that, I think it's just like all the work I've done when I was young to now, helping out with homeless shelters. It's just, I think people have like noticed, and it's not something I like go out and put all over social media.
It's just the work you're putting in,
It's
and they're
just-
starting to see it. They're seeing
Yeah.
it, and that's what's up, man.
I don't like to
Good for
like
you.
go in, like for me, I like to give people, space, especially, working hand in hand with homeless. I don't like to put all of that on social media.
You don't need to.
I don't need
It's
to.
who you are. It's not. You
Yeah.
don't always have to exploit it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is good to show people so that they're inspired to do it as well. But you don't have to show it every time. There's been many a times I've helped needy and people in need, and I haven't told anybody.
Yeah.
There's no reason to, right? As long as that's between me, God, and the person that helped.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I look at it. So I love that. All right, so let's get into it. I'm first of all, once again, happy for you being on here. I can't wait to talk about all the things that you've been up to, all the things that you've been through. And, I think there's a lot of relatable things that you and I could talk about, especially me growing up in the spotlight as well. So let's get into it. McKenzi, your first question is, you've been creating and performing since you were young, and so much of your life has been in the public eye. When people ask you, what do you do now? How do you introduce yourself?
I honestly, when people I think a common thing that like fans or like when I get noticed in public, people will be like, "Oh my God, are you famous?" And I always just respond with, "I'm just like a normal girl." Like that's just how I think of myself. Is like I just think I'm like an ordinary girl. Like I have weird quirks about myself, and I just like honestly just continuously chase my dreams.
I love that. I could relate to that because same here. Like when people are like, "Oh, you're famous," or if they find out I'm a well-known person, like, "Oh, you're famous." I'm like, I don't really like the name celebrity or the word famous. I'm like, yes, I'm known in some places, but I'm just like you. Like when people run into me in the supermarket, like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, well, "What are you doing here?" Food shopping? That's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm doing what the normal person does. So I love that you say like you don't, how you introduce yourself now is just like, "I'm just McKenzi."
I'm
This
just
girl,
McKenzi.
like you may know me from things, but I'm just McKenzi. So I love that. I love that. So you started building a following on TikTok when you were still a teenager.
Yes.
What do you remember about that moment when everything started to blow up?
Honestly, it was kind of just a very surreal moment for me. I think especially the first time I got like noticed in public, I'll never forget it. I don't know, to me, even like nowadays, like I've been doing social media for a few years now, it's still anytime somebody recognizes me like at like a place like a supermarket or like an airport, it's just like very surreal moment, and it still like excites me every single time.
What was the first moment that really made you feel like you were starting to blow up though on TikTok?
The first moment, like
That first aha moment, like, wow, my life's different now. Because I can tell you mine,
I'm
but
like,
I love to hear
I'm trying to
yours.
remember. I will say the first moment where I had like oh my God, like my video blew up for something that I like enjoyed doing was I was in the supermarket. I was at Walmart at 3 in the
Always
morning.
the supermarket, right?
I was
It's
at
always
Walmart. I grew up going to Walmart. I love Walmart, especially in Florida. That's where I'm
Back
from.
in the day, it was 24 hours. I know they had the McDonald's, they had the video games you could play. Trust me.
I love Walmart. I'm such a big like Walmart fan, and my parents are, especially my mom, she was always taking us to dance classes.
Yep.
So after we finished dance class, like a prize for me and my brother would be to go to Walmart
Wally World.
and just like run around the store and just like be like kids and siblings. And I remember creating like at the time I didn't know it was going to be like a viral video. I had like a couple like viral videos at the time before that, like doing comedy skits, but comedy wasn't exactly
Who you
my It wasn't my passion. Right. I think I got onto social media because my mom was like, hey, McKenzi, you should do it. And she kind of gave me an ultimatum at the time when I started, which, that's like a whole other story in itself. And I think I just started with comedy skits. But I think when I started like bringing out like my personality and things I was already doing like as like a teenage like kid at the time, which was dancing. 3 a.m. at Walmart. I created a dance video with my brother. It was like my own dance. And because my brother and I were like already choreographing at the time. I was, I think, 15 and a half at the time when I started choreographing. And then I just made this dance trend and literally blew up overnight. And the next day I was already getting recognized when like I was going to like dance studios and like dance conventions. And I was like, this is weird. Like, this is different. Like, different in like a good way. Because like growing up, like when you're always like at different conventions and competitions, like people always hype you up for like the way you dance. But like it wasn't necessarily a thing for people to be like, oh, I know you because of like your online presence or anything like that. So it was definitely like very interesting moment and an interesting transition, but like interesting in a good way, like not a bad way.
Yeah, I love that. I love like it turned into something that was natural for you, something authentic, and people gravitated towards it. And then all of a sudden, the same places you were walking in were places where people were recognizing you. That's kind of like the same story I had. I remember in my young age, the mall was the place to go for kids. And I remember I used to always go to the mall before I was on TV. And, regular kid. And then all of a sudden I'm going to the mall and now everybody wants pictures with me and everyone wants an autograph. And that was the moment I was like, wait, I'm somebody. So I can relate to like one day you're this normal kid and the next day, like you're just everywhere, right? Everybody knows who you are. So you've literally grew up online with millions of people watching as we're discussing and watching your life unfold. How has that shaped the way you see yourself in your work? Because like you said before, normal McKenzi, but like I'm sure you get on, you get some attention, you get like how did you now having this attention shape yourself in your work?
So I think for me, at least growing up already in the industry, I think a lot of kids once they go into social media, they have like they find out the perspective as in like you can't get away with everything or anything anymore. But I will say I was kind of always like, not to say I was always a good kid growing up, but I was always very like, my mom was like, you never know. Like, unfortunately, there are bad people in the world and people who have bad intentions. Yes. So my mom and my dad always kept me on like the good side of things and always looked out for me and made sure I didn't get in trouble. Same thing with my brother. So I think it's just more so once I got an online presence that I had the thought process of like, if I do this, you never know who's watching, and anyone at any point in time will like use that and like try to turn it into like a bad thing. So I think that's like a thing that a lot of kids end up having that mindset and realizing they just have to be a lot more aware of their surroundings. But I'm very lucky that I did grow up with like super like overprotective parents, to say the least. But I think overprotective in like a good way. I love how protective they have been of me.
I love that you, and shout out to your mom. So I love that you at a young age had that mindset. I didn't, and I was raised right? But my mind wasn't, everybody's watching, let me watch what I do. It was just like, I was fighting between being normal and being famous. But I love how you understood your responsibility. You understood your opportunity. And I think that's powerful that you just said that. I think every kid that's coming up on some newfound fame or coming up on some newfound money or anything should pay attention to what you just said. You're never too young to understand that what's right from wrong. Yeah. And you're never too young to understand that you have an opportunity that you could essentially lose if you're not aware. Yeah. And your sense of awareness at a young age is amazing. Like, shout out to you for because you can have a great upbringing and still go against the grain. Yeah. So the fact that you didn't go against the grain shows that you were brought up not only the right way, but you were brought up and you listened. You understood that it was the truth being told you. So many kids, my daughter, doesn't think dad knows it all yet right now. She's 9 years old. But I'm
understand
gonna
it a
show her
little
this interview and say, hey, because she says my wife and I are too protective, overly protective.
I did okay, hold on. I did have that mindset when it came to certain topics in my life where I was like, okay, mom and dad, just a little space here, just a little space. But I know I would say my brother and I are different. I'm the type of person that if you tell me something's not good, I don't need to learn from the experience at all.
But your
I'm
brother
just like,
does.
my brother, yeah.
Sounds like my kids. Sounds like my little Joey and my Mia.
Bit.
My Mia will be like, okay, if I may not always agree, but if my parents say this is what it is, Joey's like, head first, I don't care. So I get it. I get the brother-sister relationship and how that the second child can be crazy. Huh, Mom? I already know how that one is. I know exactly how that one goes.
But we love him so much. He just sometimes it takes him a little bit extra longer to learn.
Us
but
boys,
I'm always here. I think honestly, I think it's a boy thing at that point.
Us boys, from what I see with my kids, my daughter's a little more scared to do certain things. My son is not scared. And I mean, not mean as in like get on a roller coaster scared, but like if my dad says this, I'm so afraid. Like the other day, true story, we're in a store shopping and she thought that I had left her smoothie cup garbage like on somewhere and didn't put it in the garbage. And we got in the car and she was like, Dad, we were littering. Oh my God, we're going to be in so much trouble. I'm like, no, I brought it to the garbage can in the front. But that's the sense of she's so afraid of getting in trouble or doing the wrong thing. My son wouldn't even care if we left it there.
Oh, my brother definitely has the mindset. I kind of think we both do, where it's like, do it and kind of ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
We kind of both have that mindset. It just in different types.
Ways.
Yeah.
So you and I both know, speaking about our relatability, you and I both know what it's like to grow up in the spotlight, and it can be a lot to balance. How did you learn to separate who you are from what people see on social media? Because some people will see you and think that's McKenzi Brooke all the time. Like when people see me, oh, he's always funny and fun and he has all this energy. Some days I'm tired. Some days I'm in who I am. Right? So how do you separate that?
I think for me, especially when I first started, it was definitely a learning process for sure. Especially like I was a teen. I've been in and out, not in and out of relationships. I've had only 2 relationships. But it was definitely hard being on social media and then being with someone. I think I learned a lot, especially with a relationship, that like I wanted to have this mindset of having like the perfect relationship, which it was very, very far from perfect. And I wanted to do that originally because I was like, I don't want anyone to like think this way about me or think this way about who I'm with. And I just want them to like see smiles and sunshine and all that stuff. But I realized like towards the end of the relationship, and especially like breaking up with somebody, that it's okay to not be okay. Right. And that's something my mom always had in my head. Like, it's okay to like cry. It's okay to feel this way. I'm always going to be here for you. But it's definitely a lot when you have such a big online presence and everyone's opinions are involved in no matter what you do, whether you want them to be involved or not. And most of the time, I will say I'm very like thankful to have a very supportive audience, and they're always there for me when I'm upset. But I realized once I like ended relationships that I wanted to show my audience like it's okay to not be okay. And at the end of the day, they also like felt the same way when it came to what they were going through. And I was just exactly. And I was able to connect a lot more with them. And that's when I realized that like, this is how I'm going to balance it. When I'm not feeling okay, my audience will know that I'm not okay. When I'm feeling great, my audience will know that I'm feeling great, because it's the same thing if like someone's coming up to me in person. I remember this was the like day before Halloween, and I was in Spirit Halloween. I remember I was in my pajamas. I was in my pajamas. I had no makeup on. I was actually I deal with eczema, and that's something I do share online too. And it was really, really bad that day. I had like patches all over my face. I literally had like a full on like lotion patch just like on two parts of my face that like I was dealing with. And I remember like 4 girls coming up to me at the time. And I didn't like, at the time they didn't see what I was like looking like, but they heard my voice. And they're like, I recognized your voice and like I wanted to come up to you and everything like that. And just so much so as they were in their pajamas, I was in mine. And they're like, we had a full-on conversation, and they were honestly like the sweetest girls I've ever met. And I think that's like something that I just realized that I wanted to be like, to show how someone who has a presence, whether it's like a social media influencer or an artist or a actress, actor, celebrity, like we all go through the same things. And during that point in time, like, again, having that full-on conversation, we still took pictures, we still had fun, and like, you know, I'm human just as much as everybody else.
I love that. So it's safe to say that it's not much separation. You're so authentic with your consumer that it's not like you have to separate the known person from the person that's in the house, right?
Yeah.
It's like you like being transparent with your people so they can relate to you, and I love that. So that you don't have to put up any block or guard, you know what I mean?
No.
It's just you all the way. So I love that. Was there ever a moment when being known felt heavy though? Like I know you say, you know, you love the love, you love when people coming up to you and you're transparent. Like, but have you ever had to step back and like protect your peace, like from being who you are? Like, has it ever gotten too heavy for you being a known person?
I would say, especially when I first started social media, the only time where it was like a lot for me was honestly just like I think not everyone like recognizes, like, especially when someone just like either blows up really fast or like doesn't necessarily like expect something to happen. I think when it comes to anybody like walking into like a normal place or like an event or a party or I don't know, a store, like you don't necessarily think that like, oh, I'm going to get crowded or surrounded and stuff like that. And I think at first I was very like, oh my God, like this is a lot for me. Like I'm not ready for this. Now I'm like totally fine with it. It doesn't really affect me. But I think that was like the only time where I was like, not that I needed to step back, but I just needed to like rethink and reprocess of like, yes, this could happen. And you just have to be aware of your surroundings. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I would say I was on the other end of it of like, things got really heavy for me. So I took a step back for a few years because I was so, you know, on TV since I was like 15. And I dealt with a lot of like media things. Like you saying, being aware of what you do and people are watching every move. I wasn't too aware. And that's where it got heavy for me. When the comments and the people talking and the false narratives and all that. So that's where it really felt heavy for me as a kid growing up, becoming somebody. It was like dealing with the extras of it. I never had a problem being a person that people look up to or somebody is inspired by or somebody may want to take I love the love. Makes me feel good, right? I think it makes anybody feel good. But is the flip side of that where like the people are hating or the people don't love you as much as the people that love you. So I think those are the moments where it really got heavy for me. Have you ever had to deal with any hate, online hate?
So I will say for me, I dealt with hate way before starting social media. I like grew up getting bullied in school. So I guess like I have a different perspective of like when there's any sort of hate online, it does not affect me. Cause like I had it done to my face. I had it done by like people I thought were my friends, whether it was like dance industry or like at school.
Right.
And it was something I was just constantly dealing with all the time. So having it done like online by someone who's like not showing their face, you don't see them.
You don't even know them.
Like you don't know them, and it's like,
and they don't know you.
That's true. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me, and I've learned the process that it doesn't matter what other people think. If you're still loving what you do and you know who you are, like you know yourself, then who cares? And at the end of the day, yes, everyone's allowed their own opinions for sure. But I could just care less about yours. Like that's just like how I've learned to deal with when there's any hate, which I am very blessed and lucky that I haven't really had that negative energy online before, at least by like fans and like supporters or people I follow. Yes, I've had it by like your friends, your so-called friends who've like to hate on you. But at the end of the day, if you're my friend and you're being negative towards me, it's a simple thing as me removing you from my life. And I have no problem doing that.
Yeah. I love that. I learned that years into the game of like, they don't even know me. Why am I even getting so riled up over somebody that doesn't know me? But I think it goes back to what you said. I didn't deal with that before TV. I wasn't going into school and I wasn't like per se getting bullied. I was like one of the cooler kids and like everybody liked me and like I was like a class clown and like I made everybody laugh. Like whatever I brought to the TV screen was who I was and people liked me for it. And then I put it on TV and now people are nitpicking at every little thing. Well, he looks like this and he does this and I couldn't deal with it. So it's so cool to know that like you took real life stuff and was like, well, if this can happen in my real life, that internet stuff is fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't even know those people. And I deal with real people that have tried to hate on me.
No, yeah. And especially like having that done to you like at your, your middle schools and your elementary schools, and then like having it also done like when you would go to like dance class and stuff. Like I was getting picked on for things that I can't change about myself.
Yeah.
It's not about what I'm wearing or how I look. I got picked on for things that I can't change.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's just like, I could care less. And at the end of the day, it's like, it's my life. I'm living it. You're just a speck on this world. Like
you are who you are, and if you're happy being who you are, it shouldn't matter to anybody else.
Exactly. Like I'm going to continue living my dreams. Yeah. There's always like that saying where it's like someone could either be in your life for like a chapter, they could be in your life for the whole entire book. It was just a chapter. Who cares?
That was deep. I like that. We're gonna have to clip that one up. That's a clip right there. That's a viral clip, McKenzi. There you go. She's out here taking them viral clips from me. There you go. I like that one.
It's just like you could be there for one season or you could be there for like the whole 365 days of the year.
I've always heard they're either in your life for a season or for a reason. You know what I mean? And that's how you got to kind of look at it. I want to talk about expectations. How do you handle people's expectations of you versus how you actually are now, like as an adult and as an artist?
Well, I will say, I think especially the past like 2 years of being online, exactly who I am online is exactly who I am in person. Right. Like I'm very like blunt, direct. I'm from the East Coast. Like that's all I know how to be. We're very straight up.
We're all very straight up out here. Like really straight up.
Yes. So especially like my mom's from New York, so she's a whole other level for sure. But
I could tell she's from New York. As soon as I walked in, I felt the New York vibe.
So I think that's just like, I don't necessarily have like a lot of people who expect things, but obviously when it comes to working with like brands and doing partnerships, I'm very lucky to have my mom as my manager.
Okay, momager.
Yes. She doesn't exactly like that word.
Oh, momager don't like that word?
She likes to like, it's different. She's a mom.
I like that. And then she's a manager. Here we go.
Separate it. Which it's really nice, like having her, like having that separation. Like she's able to play both roles and still do a great job either way. But for me, if there's any sort of like expectations from like a brand that's expecting this, she handles all the business stuff. And she's a very straight, honest type of person. But I think I can get behind like whatever I'm getting hired for or whoever I'm meeting. I always say I go above and beyond whatever it is. So I don't think anyone when it comes to meeting me or working with me ever has a bad experience, in my opinion.
I don't have one. So.
Oh, I'm glad. But I don't think anyone ever will have like a bad opinion or experience because like I've just like,
you're real.
Yeah, I'm very real. I'm very honest. I'm going to tell you how I feel. If I don't like, if you want me to do this and I don't like that, or I think something could else be turned to and it could be different, I'm going to tell you like, well, you want this. I don't think it's going to go well, but I think if we do this, it's going to go well. So at the end of the day, it's however you decide as a brand, like, do you want to go with what I say or do you want to go with what you say? But like, here are the outcomes. Right. And that's the same way my mom is like when it comes to her speaking with like different, people. So I think at the end of the day, I don't have like
expectations.
Yeah. And I've just like lived the life and where my mom has taught me. She's taught me a lot of things. I always keep saying my mom has taught me because it's real.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. But when it comes to me working with other people or meeting people or doing different opportunities, I just always have the expectations. Hope for the best, expect the worst.
Right. Yeah. So those are your expectations of yourself. Is hope for the best,
expect the worst.
Yeah. That's how I kind of live too. So because when you live like that, you control your emotions towards whatever happens. If it doesn't work out in your favor, you can say, well, I thought it'd go this way, but although it didn't, I'm totally in control of it.
And I'm totally okay with it. Like, I'm just a very much like go with the flow, whatever happens type of person. I don't like to have like set myself up for like expectations, especially when they can't exactly get met, if that makes sense. I don't want to set myself up for failure. I wouldn't.
Just do your best, forget the rest.
Exactly. I like that. Do your best, forget the rest. I like that. Do.
So, you mainly have been known for dance and performance, but you've also explored acting, music, and storytelling. What inspires you creatively right now? Like right now, what's inspiring you creatively?
Do you want my honest
opinion? I always want the honest opinion.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're McKenzi. You always live honest.
I was like, you want my honest opinion?
You want your honest opinion.
So I would say when it comes to my music, I'd love to thank all my exes for being terrible to me.
Usually it is that brings that creativity out of you in music.
Okay, no, but in reality, like if you look at a Taylor Swift, if you look at like even like your younger version, like a Tate McRae or like a Gracie Abrams, like they're very honest. What happens with their relationships, you do put into what you write. Yeah. And I think that it happens with me with friendships. It happens with me with like actual like above and beyond relationships. My first song I wrote is about a friend who I'm still friends with to this day. And then one of my songs I wrote that was called F.U. is about an ex-friend. So, like, not all songs are about, like, my, ex-boyfriends.
Yeah. But they're about people.
But, yeah.
They're about experiences. Not just people, they're about experiences.
Yes. But, it does help when you're able to write about, like, particular people in your life. Because I just feel like at the end of the day, when it comes to that everyone goes and experiences that stuff. Maybe it's not with the same exact person, but like everyone goes through heartbreak. And I just love to use that as like songwriting as my therapy and, put that into my music. I just recently performed at a festival called Supergirl Pro. And it's all about like uplifting women. And I love it so much. It's originally started as like a surf competition. And I think they started with like 100 people. Now they have like thousands and thousands of girls that go and compete. And it's absolutely amazing. But I recently performed like all my originals there. And these two girls came up to me after like the show when I was going to watch Plain White Tees perform because I performed right before them. And so they came up to me at the show and I was like in the pit. And they're like, by the way, like, I love your song, Love Amnesia, because I say like right before like I go into the song, like my therapist told me that forgiving is better, but I think forgetting is way better for you. That's why I call it Love Amnesia. And the song is basically about like taking an ex and like kind of like deleting them out of your life. Like, I have 0 exes because I don't count mistakes. It's one of the lines I have in the song. And she came up to me basically saying, like, I've been through the same thing and I know exactly how you feel. And listening to your music really has helped me go through breakups. So I like to go and talk about stuff like that, like especially like online or whenever I get the chance to, because,
Once again, it's relatable.
It's relatable.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone has their moments where they want to, like, cry themselves to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know what they're doing, like, with their life. And they're like, where did I go wrong? How did I get here? But all my music is very, like, talks about that stuff, but it talks about it in a very, like, uplifting, like, pop way, to where it's like, you don't need them anymore. You're better on your own.
I like that. I love, so safe to say that you have been inspired creatively by your experiences in life, right? You take all your past experiences, your current experiences, and you keep creating. I like that. So I know that you shared before that you faced some serious health challenges early on. How did that experience change the way you approach life and creativity today?
For me, I was experiencing health challenges when I was really, really young, before I even said a word that came out of my mouth.
But
So
knowing that, how did that mold you into how you look at life and how you create?
You can't take life for granted. You got to live it to the fullest. At one point in time, going through those health challenges, I was, you know, my parents wanted to do what was best for me. And I did feel like, you know, a girl in a bubble. I couldn't go and do much. I stayed home. I at one point in time, I was on hospital homebound school. So I didn't go to school. I didn't see friends. Pretty much just saw my doctors, my mom. At one point in time, I couldn't see my dad and my brother. It was pretty much just my doctors, my mom. Once I was able to go back home, then I was able to see, like, my dad and my brother. But I think during that time especially, I was just always in a bubble. I didn't get to go and experience life. But I will say I wouldn't change anything about it. If I had to live it again, I would. Because I think I learned so much about myself. One, I learned that I loved singing. Did I focus in on it at the time? No. But I learned
you found
that
your love.
But I did. And at one, you know, years later, I started writing and everything. But during that time, it just taught me, especially when I was given the chance, like, hey, do you want to go to your, like, last few years of school? Or do you want to, like, not to say stay safe, or, like, but stay safe and continue doing, like, hospital homebound school at home? As soon as I got the chance, I didn't care whether, like, again, I didn't care if I was going to get bullied or not.
I just wanted to go in.
I just wanted to go and realize that, like, at the end of the day, like, I just want to be able to, like, experience life as, like, a normal girl. Yeah. And I think that's why I continuously just tell people, like, I'm just your quote unquote normal girl, because that's what I wanted to experience when I was younger. Even though I knew that I wasn't like every other teenage girl and I didn't go through the same things they were going through. But it just taught me, like, honestly, never give up. At one point in time, my doctors had other opinions that for sure completely twisted my mindset. And I was told I was never going to walk again. I was never going to dance again. I was pretty much going to be stuck in a chair the rest of my life. And I think that just made me realize I have to work and fight a lot harder than maybe your average person. But if this is something that I want to do, then you just have to, like, go for it. And that's also what taught me to not care about what other people think. Because at the end of the day,
I can tell you're mentally strong because of that.
Yeah. At one point in time, talking about it, I was not at all okay, for sure. And, like, that, I would say, because it's still something I deal with nowadays, I have to be really careful about, I guess, who I interact with. If I know somebody's sick, I do realize there has to be a distance between, like, me and the person. And I can't be all lovey-dovey like I usually am. And I still take those precautions that I would be taking when I was younger. Yeah. Not as I'm a little risk-takey, like, nowadays, because I think I've just gotten older. And I feel like my immune system's a lot stronger than it was before. But I don't know, I realized that, you know, it's okay to, like, have those, like, up and down moments and just be careful at the end of the day. Like, just be careful And that's all I can say. I have like a mom and my dad who look out for me, and if there's any type of scare, they're like right there to like fix everything.
I love how authentic you are and how you share it. And if you're comfortable sharing the name or what you were going through for anybody that may be going through that, would you like to tell us what it actually was?
It was definitely like a couple different things that unfortunately hit me at the same time. But I was diagnosed with influenza A when I was like 2 years old. And if it's something that maybe not everyone knows about it, but it's something that stays dormant in your body. My family didn't know about it until I got older. And like I experienced it for I think the second time is when my doctors told me that it like stayed dormant in my body and like it doesn't go away. So hence why anytime I get sick, which, knock on wood, hasn't been in a long time.
Let's not.
But it is something that like does stay dormant inside your body, and you do have a risk anytime you get sick or get the flu that it could just all happen all over again.
So was COVID a scary time for you?
I think my parents, we kind of just like kept inside. I pretty much was just going to the studio to my house, to the studio to the house. And I will say I was very thankful that when like during that time, yes, I got COVID, but
I caught it 3 times.
Oh my Lord, that is insane.
Insane. Every strand they had.
That's crazy. I got it once, and honestly, I was fine.
Yeah.
My parents, my family, they were not okay.
I wasn't. At the first one, I wasn't, and then they got weaker and weaker.
I thought I was fine. I was like, guys, I am ready to ride roller coasters. Take me to Disney. My family, I think maybe the way I grew up and maybe because of like things I've had before in my past.
Yeah,
that I was
system
just like
is really strong.
Yeah,
it's
that
been
I was
fighting for a long time.
It has been. It still continues to do it nowadays. But no, yeah, I was just like, I think we just like continuously are like staying safe. Like, yes, I go out. Yes, I have fun. Yes, I work continuously. But definitely when there's that period of like, oh, I'm overworking myself, I take a break and I just like, okay, guys, I'm going to have a lazy day. This is my 24 hours of my lazy day. I'm going to sleep and I'm going to go to the movie theater.
I like that. And I love to hear about the lazy days because, from my understanding, you share everything with your fans. But is there anything that you keep to yourself that you don't share? And I'm not saying you have to say that, but like, do you keep anything to yourself? Or do you give it all to the people?
I think something now I keep to myself is I didn't originally, and this like goes back to relationships. I used to go and just like throw everything and be like, this is this. Like my first relationship, I kept everything smiles and happiness. My second relationship, it was like everything. And now I've like found a balance. I'm single, not in a relationship, but I now have that balance that if I decide to explore a new relationship, I'm not going like very strict rules of like, if I'm dating somebody, I'll let the audience know. I'm not going to ever lie and say I'm single when I'm not single. I'm not doing that. But I'm not going to like post the person and things like that. I will keep that private at least a long time in the beginning of the relationship not because of my audience or things like that. My audience.
You want it to yourself.
I want it to myself. And one, I feel like sometimes you're still learning about the person.
Yeah,
and you don't always know.
You don't want to put them out there like that. Like
you don't
quickly.
Always know the person's intentions.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
And I've learned that lesson too, that some people are really good at, hiding those like lies and secrets about them.
Yep.
And you unfortunately don't know until you've given what they want. And then you find out like who their true self is. So I'm not necessarily doing it because like I don't want to share it with my audience, but I don't want that person at the end of the day, whoever that would be. I don't want them taking advantage of me or my audience.
Smart girl. I feel like you'd have a really good answer to this next question. Talking to younger generation, younger than me, younger than you. What advice would you give to a young person who wants to build a platform but struggles with comparison or pressure?
One thing my mom has always taught me, or two things actually. I've learned my lesson. Always be you. Don't care what other people think. Because at the end of the day, it's like, it's your life. It's what I've said in the beginning.
Yep.
It's your life. It's not their life, you know? But the next one that I love so much, and I feel like anytime I've said it to someone, they also like agree with it. But haterade is Powerade. If somebody does decide to hate on you, take it and put it into what you love. Not to say prove them wrong, but if someone says, no, you can't do that. When I first started social media, the amount of times, especially like in the dance industry, that I got hated on for doing it, or like just someone trying to talk me out of like continuing to do social media. So glad I never listened to them, for sure. But you take that hate in whatever type of career path you're doing, whether it's, you know, being a doctor. There's so many people that tell you can't, like, you think you're smart enough to do this? It's like, yes, I am. Let me show you. Let me show you and prove you wrong. And I think that's something that I continue to do, like, nowadays. And I will always use that advice, like, even by the time I'm, like, 70 years old. And I just will use it in, like, all of life.
Use it as fuel.
Yes. Just continue, do what you love. And if someone has a problem with it, show them.
Somebody has a problem with it, it's their problem.
It's their problem.
They're not going to take care of you. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to chase your dreams for you. You got to chase them yourself. So ultimately, she's telling you, go for it, young people. Go for it. Stop thinking. Go for it. Just go for it. There's nothing on the other end but success. But if you don't go for it, nothing's going to happen. You're going to still be in the same place you are. And you're still going to be stuck with the same people that told you couldn't do it. So it's better to just go do it and let them watch from the sideline.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. My mom always says, like, there's a difference between giving it your all and giving 100% and then giving it like 125%.
Yes.
Like, go above and beyond. If it's something you really want to do with your life, why are you just going to give it like
a little bit,
your all?
Right.
Like,
it's what my wife and I tell my daughter as well. Like, you can go, but let's really go. Let's really do it. Like, let's really do it to the biggest we can ever do it. If you can go any harder, go that hard.
Yeah, I think when you have your mindset on something, anything, you can accomplish anything. That's just like, that's it. Like, period, end of story. You can accomplish anything as long as your mind's on it. But if your mind's on it, you also have to have the same work ethic as it. You have to work hard because you can't just keep thinking this stuff. Like, you have to do what your mouth is saying.
That's a fact. So I hear all throughout the interview, you bring up your mother.
Yeah, I do.
I also heard you bring up your dad a few times
Yes.
and your brother that made the viral video with you. What's his name? Rafe?
Reef.
So from what I understand, they've been a big part of your journey from the start, especially your brother Reef.
Yes, he has been.
How has that support system kept you grounded? I know you've spoken about this throughout the whole interview, but like having Reef and your mom and your dad, how has that kept you grounded?
Well, one, I'm a very family-oriented girl.
Yes, I can tell.
I love my family. I love my family. I tell my family everything. They are my best friends. Like, that's it. They are my best friends. They're the people I come to when I, like, not only when I've, like, accomplished something that I really wanted to, but they're also the people that if something goes wrong, I know they're going to be there for me. And they're going to be straight and honest to me. If I did something wrong, they're going to be like, yeah, this is on you. This was your fault.
Yeah.
And if it's someone else's, they're just be like, I'm here for you. And they're always going to comfort me. But definitely when it comes to being grounded, if I at all ever got a big head, my mom and my dad would slap me on the backside of my head.
They're gonna pop the balloon.
Oh yeah. My mom very much says, I brought you into this world and I can take you right out.
That's the old classic line. We've all heard it.
And I think there's that. And then my mom and my dad also always said to me that, you know, as fast as you went up, you can come crashing down if you don't remember those people who have helped you along the way. Because nobody becomes anything, whether it's like a CEO of a company, if you don't have your teammates and employees helping you accomplish what your goals are.
That's a fact.
And my mom just has always had that mindset in my head. and her and my dad have done a great job. I'm like, in my opinion, they have done a great job raising me.
if she's telling you quotes like that, she did a
Yeah.
great job. That she might have got a little black in her after that line. You know what I mean? I've heard, a lot of black households have heard that line growing up. So she definitely knows what to say and do the right things.
Her and my dad have definitely done a great job, like, when it's come to raising my brother and I. And I don't know, I think I'm very close with my brother that we tell each other everything. We're always there for each other. I know that sometimes when my brother is in in certain positions, maybe he won't tell me at first, but at the end of the day, if he needs help, if he needs advice, he comes into. He's right across from my room. He's right across the hallway. He does not mind walking to my room. Borrows my clothes all the time.
What's the age difference?
We're 2 years. 2 years.
He's
Almost
younger.
2 years. Yes. He is. He's
I'm a younger brother too. I have a lot of siblings, so I have younger brothers and I have younger sisters, but I have 2 older sisters.
So do you like to have the mentality where you think you're older though? Because he has that mentality.
You'd probably think I was the older brother if you didn't, if people didn't know my family.
He loves to tell everyone he's the older brother.
I don't have to tell anybody that. I move like the older brother. You know what I mean?
You would get along with my
I gotta
brother
meet
so
Reef, man. I gotta bring
well.
him on the podcast. He sounds like a me.
Yeah, he says
like
that all the time. Like, he'll be like, when somebody's like, oh, so you're the older sibling, not to me, like to him, because he's also way taller than me.
He'll say, yeah.
He'll be like, yeah, and I'm like, no, you're not.
I love that.
I'm like, hello?
Shout out to Reef, man. Shout out you, brother.
Nah, he's like...
he's the man. Just put it at that. He's the guy right there. That's him.
He likes to think he's
him.
the man.
Yeah,
he likes
Reef
to
is him.
think he's the man. He's still like, again, he's my younger brother. He's always going to be like a kid to me, but I get it. He's grown up.
If he's 19, 20 now,
yeah, no,
he's big boy.
Yeah, no, that's what he tells me. He's like, McKenzi, I'm a man.
I wouldn't say man yet. Young man.
Okay, I know.
He's a young man. Reef, I'm for your mama. You a young man, not a man yet. You got a lot to go through in life. Trust me.
I agree.
I'm still going through things, and I'm 36, brother. So, you got a lot to go through, but you are a young man.
Yes.
We'll say that.
I do laugh at him, though, when he says that to me. He's like,
does he even have a mustache yet?
No, he does.
Okay.
He does. Oh, my God. The other day, he was trimming his, okay, so, when he's lazy, he'll grow this out, but he doesn't like it, so he, says he looks homeless. So then he, shaves that off. And then he has, his mustache and, goatee. And he taught a class the other day at Millennium Dance Complex, which is a pretty big studio in California. So happy for him. Congratulations to him.
Reed.
And I went and took his class. But before, when we were on the way, he was getting ready in his bathroom, I walk in and he is trimming his beard. And I'm like, oh my God, he's not shaving, he's trimming it, has trimmers. And I'm like, this is insane to me. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets crazier.
No, and one of our friends who also grew up with, and she's also an older sister. She's a year older than me, and she's experienced my brother since he's I think 5 years old, and so I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, he's growing up, and she goes, yeah, I know, it's low, it's she goes, it's insane, he's taller than both of us. He's 5'10". I'm only 5'1". So I think that also has he thinks he's the older one because of his height. And I'm oh, whatever.
I love the closeness. It reminds me of my siblings and myself. We always confide into each other, always got each other's back, and always making sure, we're all good. So I can tell the excitement you got speaking about your brother.
Yeah. He's my competitive little brother for sure.
How do you think your younger self would feel seeing where you are now after everything you've learned and worked through?
I personally think my younger self would be honestly just proud of being able to chase my dreams and going back. I think just not to say I want to go back into the whole health topic, but I think seeing myself from when I was in a hospital bed to just here
on the For Good podcast.
Yes. But just seeing myself being able to walk, talk, dance, sing. It doesn't matter about anything I have accomplished, but just being healthy in that way is something that my younger self would just like be so elated with, that like she went through all of this so we could end up here.
Yeah.
And it, to me, my accomplishments doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I personally think like someone as a person, like I look past what anyone has accomplished. Like that's not who you are as a person. Who you are is like your morals, your ethics in life,
your integrity.
Yeah. And so I think that's what my younger self would be so proud of.
I'm proud of I'm proud of you too. I know at your younger self, probably there were days where you probably didn't think you would make it this far, right? And
no.
You say you sing, you dance, you walk, you talk. You don't only sing, dance, walk, and talk. You're doing it in front of millions.
Yeah.
Right? Like the world loves you. God loves you. It's amazing to know that these are, things that you may have not were able to do, and now you're doing it for a platform.
Yeah. There was definitely those times where
you are a walking testament. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know you're a walking testament. And that's kind of going to go into my next question is like, from being a kid dancing on TikTok, creator, artist, young woman with a platform, what do you want people to take away from your story? As we get towards the end of this podcast, I would love to know what you want young people, old people, anybody watching us, what do you want them to take away from your story?
Every time I talk to somebody and somebody asks me for advice, or I just want people to take knowledge. Like that's like, I know like I'm super young and I still have so much to learn, and like that's my opinion. I hope to learn more and more new things every single day about like other people and like what I can grow and learn from. And I think whenever I talk to somebody or when someone watches like this podcast, it's the same things I grew up with, like, and what has kept me going is the always be you. It's the haterade is powerade. It's the keep on chasing your dreams and don't care about other people's opinions, because at the end of the day, those things don't matter. Don't let anyone tell you like you can't do this or this is gonna happen to you, because at the end of the day, you make your own life decisions. Like it's your mind, it's your body. It's not somebody else's. And I think that's what I always hope somebody takes when I like talk to them about anything I've gone through, is like throughout my life, I think it's always been people telling me I have to be this way or this is going to happen to me. And I feel like I've just kind of proven myself, and I continue on proving that like just because you have this title doesn't mean that you are going to control what happens at the end of the day to my life. And that's just something I hope that people can like take from it.
Yeah. I've sat down with you, and you're way younger than me, and I'm taking away things from your story. So I'm sure the listener will take away a lot of inspirable, relatable things from your story. Finally, our show is called the For Good Podcast, right? I love to know what those two words mean to you personally. For good. What does that mean to you?
I would think it just means like doing good, like whatever you can in life. Like to me, I always try to like, I always want to make somebody's day. And there's so many different ways that you can help out around this world. And I do think, especially like what everyone is going through nowadays, and not to be like, get into like politics and government, but especially of those things and what's going on. I think this is like the time where everyone just needs to help out each other and to take each other's hands and just be like, we can do this together. Let me help you out. You help me out. And I think that's just something that, especially with the title For Good, like do something for the better, do something for the good.
You got it. I mean, that's how we look at it. But I think everybody has their own point of views of what For Good means. And I love how you said that. And as I said earlier, probably the youngest I've had on here, and you got your stuff together. You know, your mindset is perfect. You understand what For Good means. You understand what it is to be a good person. You've been through so much. Your story is one of survival. Your story is one of perseverance, strength. So I want to shout you out, first of all, give you your flowers for not only being inspirable to younger kids and dancers and creators worldwide, but believing in yourself, having that strength and that faith in yourself to know that there was one day they told you weren't going to walk, dance, talk, sing,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And you're here. You're flourishing. You're thriving. You're winning. You're succeeding at it. And not only are you doing that, you're an example for other kids. You're an example for other people that may not see it possible, but you've shown that is more than possible to not only become somebody that is known, but to become somebody that was once sick and didn't know where you were going to go in life.
Yeah.
But yet you ended up here. So I want to say that congratulations on everything that you've gone through, or congratulations on everything you've been through. You have a wonderful upbringing. Your mother, your father, your brother, I can tell. So I want to, first of all, I want to say thank you for coming on this For Good podcast and sharing all of that you shared with us, from the health stuff to how you deal with life and your fame, I would say. So I definitely want to close us out on that note and let you know that this was a great conversation, and I was locked in the whole time. You got me sitting there like, okay, she's dropping gems. This little girl not little girl, but to me, little girl. You
could say my
dropping
mom still calls
gems
me
over
that.
here, dropping gems. So I love it. And before we get out of here, I'd love for you to tell my listener anywhere they can find you or anything you're working on new that you want to promote.
You guys can follow me on all social media platforms, McKenzi Brooke, McKenzi Brooke, and you can stream my new music, same McKenzi Brooke, McKenzi Brooke. I'm coming out with a new song called Liar Liar.
I'm about to listen to it. You know, Liar Liar was one of my favorite movies. You might be too young to know about Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. Your mom probably knows about that movie.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
It's one of my favorite movies growing up. So now I'm going to have to check out the song just off the name alone. You know, but is it out yet or it's coming out?
It's coming out.
What, do you have a date for that? Oh, she doesn't have a date, guys, so we'll wait.
I don't have a date exactly yet.
No, but that's the best thing is now we just got to all follow her and just wait on it, you know? So everybody make sure you go over to her platform.
I've been posting little snippets of it on social media.
I did see, so I'm excited for you. And once again, congratulations on all you've been doing, McKenzi. Keep on winning. Keep on inspiring. Keep on shining your light. Everybody, this is the For Good podcast, where we focus on the good, never the bad, and we're measured by what we do, not what we have. We are signing out till next time. It's your guy, JoJo Simmons, my homegirl, McKenzi Brooke. Peace. We out.